Let's start today with the prosecution of Dr. Anthony Fauci, which is not a thing, and it won't be, and he won't be prosecuted. But it is a really interesting sort of entry point or lens into what the House of Representatives has become under the control of Republicans that started in January on the basis of Republicans winning control in November of 2022, not of the Senate, but yes, of the House of Representatives. Everything of note that the Republican-controlled House of Representatives has involved itself in publicly since they've taken over has been a joke, and in some cases has actually backfired completely. The hearings on the weaponization of government, humiliation, just pathetic humiliation. The hearings about big tech and Hunter Biden and so on, just an embarrassment, a global embarrassment to the extent that the rest of the world is paying attention to this nonsense. But importantly, virtue signaling for the small group of people that care, including the members of Congress that treat hearings as a way to audition to be on Hannity or Tucker's shows later that day. Fine. There is a sort of persistent phrase that won't go away from the lexicon, as my chair collapses, from the lexicon of some on the right, which is prosecute Fauci. Yes, Dr. Anthony Fauci, now 82 years old, has been working for the government in a health role for quite literally decades. They want to prosecute him, and many of them are saying, forget about prosecute, jail Fauci, imprison Fauci. Okay, why do they want to do that? I don't really know. And we're going to look at a clip of CNN's Jim Acosta asking Dr. Fauci, what do you think about, Elon Musk tweeting, my pronouns are prosecute Fauci. What do you think about the people calling to prosecute you? And Fauci says, I don't know what they would prosecute me for.
The thing I wanted to ask you is, you've been vilified on the far right. I know you know that.
Yeah.
And we've seen Elon Musk tweet that his pronouns, he's the owner of Twitter, that his pronouns are prosecute Fauci. Others in the GOP have talked about arresting you and prosecuting you for your handling of COVID. What's your response to that, your response to Musk, and what has that been like for your family?
Yeah.
Well, there's no response to that craziness, Jim. Prosecute me for what? What are they talking about? I wish I could figure out what the heck they were talking about. I think they're just going off the deep end.
Yes.
That's the answer to your first question. It doesn't make any sense to say something like that, and it actually is irresponsible. Of course, it's going to have a difficult effect and a deleterious effect on my family. They don't like to have me getting death threats all the time. Every time somebody gets up and spouts some nonsense that's misinformation, disinformation, and outright lies, somebody somewhere decides they want to do harm to me and or my family. So that's the part about it that is really unfortunate. The rest of it is just insanity, the things they're saying, but it does have a negative effect when people take it seriously and take it out on you and your family, which is the reason why I still have to have protection, which is really unfortunate.
It's not only unfortunate that Dr. Fauci needs security at this stage of the game or at any stage of the game. It's insane that the right has allowed themselves to be led down this absurd path wherein a doctor who simply is trying to do what's best to to save and help the largest number of people possible has become not only the target of he might have been wrong about certain things at certain points. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we could talk about that. But this is a criminal. This is an evil person. He created COVID, which is one that's been floating around. And of course, that he should be prosecuted. Now, let's play it out. Out of curiosity, I did some research to try to figure out what exactly do they want Dr. Fauci prosecuted for? I don't know how many of you know this. Before I tell you, what would you guess they want him prosecuted for? It seems that the most common refrain is Fauci should be prosecuted for lying to Congress, which is not really a mishandling of COVID, particularly when a lot of these very same right-wingers said that, all of the Trump people prosecuted for lying either to Congress or investigators, that's not really a crime. Well, now they want Fauci prosecuted for that. But what was it that Fauci said that they say is a lie? Well, when Dr. Fauci said the federal government has not funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute for Virology, these right-wingers say that that was lying to Congress under oath and worthy of prosecution. Well, what's the truth of that? It's a very shaky basis for prosecuting. First of all, scientists aren't in agreement as to whether what was happening, as to whether the research being done is really gain of function. Gain of function is a general term, and you can find scientists who will disagree as to whether any gain of function research was being done at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. That's number one. Number two, even if gain of function research was being done at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, what they're referring to is an NIH grant recipient, an NIH called EcoHealth. And the issue is that EcoHealth did not file a report about what they were doing, which is their fault. EcoHealth is in the wrong because they didn't file a report saying what exactly they were doing. But that certainly suggests that at minimum, when Dr. Fauci said what he said under oath, he believed that he was telling the truth. Even if it turns out that there was gain of function research being done to the satisfaction of every medical science professional, which there is not, there is every reason to believe that Dr. Fauci believed he was telling the truth when he was under oath. I can assure you there will be no prosecution over that. And it relates to the same reason that you rarely see prosecutions for perjury for witnesses in criminal trials. Witnesses in criminal trials say things that aren't true all the time. And it is extraordinarily difficult to prove that they knew they were saying things that were false. And that's why you very rarely see a perjury prosecution. So that's what it is. If you're wondering, wow, prosecute Fauci, what is that all about? This is what it is all about. And Dr. Fauci is confused as any of us as to why resources would be spent in that way. But they want to do the hearings. They want to bring Fauci down. They want to make the whole dog and pony show happen. I expect that they will, but there is not going to be any prosecution of Dr. Anthony Fauci. And that's a good thing.